Alright guys, what's up? Today I'm going to do a Rebela build. I just kind of started with her, but I've got a couple builds figured out. Um, I've been telling a lot of people build her pretty much just like Max, and that's mostly true. You just want to build her lots of lots of weapon power. You want to build her with on the X. You want her with rate of fire. You're going to be using the second battle axe. Even though the first one gives you unlimited ammo for 5 seconds, we're going to have unlimited ammo without that, so you don't need it. So instead you want the higher rate of fire. Uh, Alright, so let's go over the equipment. Now, this build isn't anywhere near maximized, so I just kind of cobbled this together. I didn't really re-roll any stats or anything. I got some useless perks on here, like I'm not even using this duo perk. But I got Power Surge on, is pretty important for your damage. If you can get that at rank 12 with the upgrade. Lucky Reload, again, try to get that rank 12. If you can't, it's not a big deal. Otherwise, try to put it on a duo perk and get some benefit out of it that way. Otherwise, just having the weapon crit rate and the weapon crit damage is huge. Again, with the boots, just try to get a rank 12 cold shoulder. It's going to be a huge weapon damage increase. For this particular build, this is where it starts to vary a little bit, because this is a frenzy build, not a weapon damage build. So this has the full suppression on, which increases our ult charge rate, and you're going to see why that matters as we kind of go on here. And then, of course, when it's active, you get infinite ammo, and obviously the rate of fire goes up to max, so you don't need to worry about rate of fire. And then we're going to start putting it with some other things. I got Resonant Surge on. Ignore the unexpected fortune. You could probably get something way better on there and boost her up. I'll go through the list and I'll show you, but it's mostly going to be crit stuff and energy stuff. You could throw a couple gold things in there, but it's mostly going to be crit and energy. But mostly, it's a 1.5 multiplier on her weapon damage. That's huge. And then it's a 3x multiplier on her ult, which again is huge, because that's multiplied after the percentage boosts. So those are, multipliers of multipliers. Those are huge boosts. Sonic Frenzy is pretty much necessary. Excuse me, I'm still coming off of my flu or COVID or whatever I had there for like a week. That's why I haven't been posting many videos. Sonic Frenzy is very important to the video. Or to the... can't even talk right now. Important to the build. Her sound waves, normally they're apparently, because of this, they're normally treated as skill damage. So this turning them into weapon damage is pretty big. Which makes sense because they come from her ult. So I guess that makes sense. Fair Deal is the good gold one you want. It's gonna, her ult damage being reduced by 15% is almost negligible compared to how many boosts you're getting on your damage. And I don't even know if ultimate damage boosts your ammo damage, so I don't even know if that negatively affects it at all. But the energy recovery is huge. Enduring Power, if you can, absolutely take it. That's a lot of extra damage. Energy Fully Loaded is one of the really good ones you can have on, because you're never using your R1, like ever. So that's good. Going into this, any of the energy things to like give you more power surge stat caps, they're all great. Even if it's just like, 5 or whatever, they're still really good. But I'm getting the energy recharge here every 10 hits. On a weak part, increases ultimate charge rate by 6%. I'm assuming that it's just 6% of the bar every 10 hits. But when you're hitting stuff as fast as you are with this build, especially if you're doing CA, higher CA floors where you're doing lots and lots and lots of hits, it's going to be more effective. This is another one where we don't care about the skill or the perk per se. We're looking at the passive. Charge focus is huge. Ultimate charge rate by 200%. Yes, it reduces weapon damage by 25%, but again, we already have so many things boosting weapon damage that 25% is almost negligible. I mean, on this one alone, it's 120% positive, so it's almost nothing. And then finally, each alt activation in this run permanently increases alt damage by 5%, which I don't think does anything, but it also increases charge efficiency by 6%. Now, if you're doing like Arrow Frenzy, this is pretty cool. If you're not, I don't think you really need it that much. But to be fair, Blessed Mark is really good, so I'm running it largely for Blessed Mark. And I forgot to put my last. Where is it? There it is. I put my last little 4 on there, and I changed that over. Alright, so let's go through all the things you could be having on this build that I don't have on right now that would be better. Alright, so let's look at crits. Now there's some duos that work really good. I think it's, yes, so increase crit damage by 200%. You're going to get a lot of crit rate with the ults because of the passives. So let's see here. Increase crit damage by 2%, final damage speed. So then this one. It's somewhere, I swear. It's gotta be here. Additional weapon damage, increased rate of fire, sound stream. Maybe it's just crit damage. I could have swore there was a huge crit rate boost with that too. It's not in the weapon. Yeah, but you should have a lot of crit rate anyway from your passives. So even if I don't have them right now, you should have them if you're min-maxing this build, absolutely. And then just put like this on beacon transmission. It's not a huge loss for 200% crit damage. That's insane. Okay, this particular one's really good. After a crit, weapon damage ×2 for 3 seconds. You're going to be critting significantly more frequently than once every 3 seconds. So this should always be active. And that's any crit. So even if your music explosion thingy or whatever doesn't get that 40% chance to be a weapon crit, if it's a skill crit, you still get it. But again, the multipliers are huge. They're way more important. That's way better than like plus 100% or even plus 200%. It's huge. I believe those are... This one's pretty good too, Perseverance. I think I only have one copy of this, and it's really hard to run in a build because of the requirements. Now this one might not be so hard because I believe you're already running this. So if you can work this into your build, it's really good. Now, as far as these go, most of these should be pretty obvious. Make sure it says a weapon crit rate, because a lot of these will say, like this one says skill crit rate. So just make sure to read them. Yeah, like it. So a lot of these are pretty obvious. All crit rates, obviously not as good as the weapon crit rates. They're lower percentages, but now the rate of fire, since it's going to be maxed constantly, this one's pretty good. I think 400% is the cap for her. If you go to look at your weapon, I'm pretty sure it's 400%. So that's crit damage equal to, see, that'd be 15 for 10%, or 15 for 100%. So that would be 60% weapon crit damage. So actually, that's not super great, but it's still pretty good. Care about alt crit rate. Now, crit damage equal to percentage of crit rate. That one's not terrible. Crits increase final damage. That's the one I'm using. That one's really good. All damage against shields. Not everything has shields. And then when the shields are gone, it's not going to do as much. So this one, not so great. I don't care about Lucky Burst radius. And when hitting weak parts, crit damage increases by 90%. I'm not exactly sure the rate of weak part hits for these shots. I'm sure you're getting some of them, but I couldn't tell you how many. Right, so let's go to energy here. Now, energy is going to have a lot more good hasty stuff. We're not using the skill damage. This is damage times 2/1. One of these over here is pretty good. Trying to remember which one. Well, there's that one again. Good. That one's okay, because you're not using your primary, you're not using your minor. So that's 80% more weapon damage. Is it worth some of the other things? Probably not. I think a lot of these other passive perks are going to be better. Each primary skill charge increases power surge stat cap. This is probably the better one because you have 4 stacks base, I believe. Evasion, you're not running the evasion boots, so you're not getting the extra skill charges there, so that one's not as good. Activating, yeah, don't care. Minor, you only get 1 of those, so don't care. Not using R1, not doing skill damage, don't care about power surge duration, don't care about reloading. You shouldn't really be reloading. Maybe every once in a great while, like while you're between ults, if you haven't built up stacks yet. After each weapon attack, it gained 2 additional power surge stacks. This one's not bad. It should, this alone, and at T7, I believe that's doubled to 4 additional power surge stacks. That should alone be keeping you maxed all the time, if you even need it. I don't care about evading, not using L1. Don't care about movement speed, and then of course you want the enduring power. So the golds, there's not really many you're going to be looking at. I think mostly just like you could be running that. I mean, even if you only have 20,000 coins, that's, or not 20,000, 2,000 coins, that's still 60% crit damage, then you should build 2000 fairly quickly. So even if you're in like VF5 or CA, you should build it pretty quickly. So it's not terrible, but I wouldn't say it's optimal. Nothing there. Last ones. No. Rouletting. Not a thing. Nope. Oh, that's the other one I was just showing you before. Alright, so I think pretty much we're just going to be looking at this one, the fair deal, and maybe Power of Gold. And that's it for that. Now there's a couple other like tiny little things you could do, like oh yeah, I mean you could run the I think there's a alt charge rate one in here. Here it is. You could run this, but then you need to have some kind of way to do Arbiter of Thunder damage. So for the most part, just try to stick to energy and crit, and then just dip into that gold. Right now for the potential part, let's go through these real quick. This is a toughie. I would say no on this. It would help you I would say definitely if you're running a non-frenzy build, but we're running a frenzy build, so we're having a ton of projectiles already all the time, so we don't really need that. This one's not bad. I mean, you're constantly doing weapon damage. I would run ban policy if you could. This is something, again, you might run this if you're not running a frenzy build. If you're running a more standard meta build or just raw damage, then I might run that. Not doing skill damage. This is more for triggering skills. Weapon base damage. A 900 shield. That would be 35 times 9. That's not terrible. That's a lot of weapon damage. I'd say that's not bad to run. Hitting enemies with the you're not going to need to worry about ammo, so don't worry about that part. But the weapon damage times 1.5 is nice. I would put that in upper mid tier for weapon perks you can have. For each enemy killed, weapon base damage plus 1%. Up to 200. You're going to build that pretty quick if you're in like VF5 or something, but not for CA. But overall, I'd probably say ban policy is probably top notch for weapon perks. No, you're not doing your R1. Yeah, you shouldn't really be using any of these, especially because you typically want to keep them full for your other ability, like the one that I have equipped that increases your weapon damage 120% when full. So don't run any of those. Having her L1 minor means you're not doing anything else, so try not to be doing any of this. Yeah, don't run any of that. Ultimate stuff. Full suppression, that's the one that I'm running. Increase the charge efficiency, and while it's active, increase the rate of fire to its max, and increase the weapon crit damage. So that's the one we want. And the other one is each activation ups the damage and efficiency. I'm also running that. So this is one of those rare instances where you can kind of run both. Passives. A lot of these are good. And like most of these are just really good. Symphony of Freedom, that is a passive, that is a potential chip skill, I believe, so you can't run that with some of the other ones. I wish they would label them what the source was on these, so that you knew like what pieces of equipment could have them. That would be convenient. This one is also really nice. I've never seen it on a piece of gear. At least not one that I've kept. So it either disappeared in a random purple or gold that I had that I wasn't looking at, or I just never kept it. So, but that one is pretty nice. Because obviously at the max of 100, you're getting 2 extra projectiles. And it doesn't say anywhere exactly how many projectiles you get out of the ult. I want to say like a dozen, maybe? I don't know. I haven't freeze framed it. Dealing weapon damage to weak points. That one's kind of iffy. Final crit damage to 1 point. That will always run this. This is good on any build. I will say that forever. It's all crit damage and all crit rates. This is usually on the necklace, I've noticed too. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. I think that's necklace only. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't care. Perks from the same arbiter. We don't care about arbiter damage. Weapon damage times 2 and skill damage times 5. I use this for the non-frenzy version of this build. Obviously, it's really good because you're not doing like any skill damage. And double her rivalry gain. That one is almost necessary, I think, for her non-frenzy build. So with that, let's get into just a quick VF5 demo, and I'll show you how this build works. It starts off a tad slow, and then it very quickly becomes explodey.
Let's shine together.
So just starting off, I'll pop some skills to get built up faster. After that first one, get to go nuts. Spawn, so I can build some stacks, you know. And then before you go under 50 rotary stacks, you should have your ult back again. And as long as you still have these three projectiles each, it should help you clean up anything that's left and continue going on. And as you can see, it pops up 15x. And what you might not be noticing yet is that the gaps in between each ult are getting shorter and shorter each time, because there's that ability that each time I activate my ult, it increases my ult recharge speed. So now, if I were doing this for a CA build, I would definitely put on that ability that gives me the 1% shield per hit or something. I don't remember, but it gives me 1% shield for something that you do. And And that with this is just kind of bonkers. So I would just make that one change for CA. Now this build does, like I said, I haven't maxed it. Obviously, I haven't touched it with mod chips or anything like that. I just used what I had. And granted, what I have is just laying around is a lot better than what most people have, because I play this game a lot. But you can see it's pretty decent. With no additional investment, I guess would be a good word. So, but you can see how much these shots are doing. The things that are doing K are those are the when it procs skill damage, and you can see I just popped 1 billion damage there. Shot the 1,000 million, which I think is so 2,000 million. That's how much that crit just did. But this is YouTube. You can pause it, go back and look if you want. But I think this is just a kind of a more fun build if you don't want to heavily invest into Rebela, because the non-frenzy version of this build requires a lot more investment. You need rate of fire on every piece of gear that can have it. You need a lot of just like things to come into play in order for the build to really work. I would definitely say it's a larger investment than Max for his build. That kind of, like, I feel like these characters kind of play exactly the same. Like, I feel like I'm just maxing right now. It's so weird. I just have to press my alt button to do it instead of pressing L2 to do it. It's the only difference. It's so weird. But you can easily get this build to do just 10 plus billion damage a hit, like more than 10 times what I'm doing, easy, if you invest a little bit into it. And I know this because I did a test with another set of gear that didn't have any alt charge powers on it, but instead had damage powers on it, and they were doing 11 billion damage a hit over that. So that's it. That's the build. I hope you guys have fun with this build. And if you have any questions or want to see something specific, feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe, all that jazz. And I will catch you guys next time.